So hi everyone, my name is Kelsey and I'm from Mr. Wells' grade 7 and 8 class. And today, obviously, as you probably know, we're doing a challenge against Mr. Corbin's class. So shout out to you guys. But today I'm showing you how to find the area and circumference of a circle. So let's begin. So first we want to know pi. Pi is really easy. It's basically just a representation of a number. So pi equals 3.14. But there's symbols for everything, and obviously this little guy right here, I'll show you him bigger, it is that. Oops. It is that, and that is the representation that will equal 3.14. You can put, there's probably one of these guys on your calculators, but if there isn't, you can use 3.14. But now we need to know our formulas. So we have the area of a circle that we need to find. So the formula that we would use for that is pi times our radius to the power of 2. Then to find the circumference, which is just a fancy word for perimeter, would be pi times diameter. But let's see. We have diameter and radius written in there, but what are those? Like, what is that? So when we look at it, we have diameter. So diameter, if you look at diameter, it is basically just a semicircle. If you look at it, it is a semicircle because if I finish it like that, there's a giant line right through that comes from one side to the other. So if I draw that into my circle, there's my two semicircles that also spells diameter. Whoa! So we have our diameter done, but there's a cool thing about it. You can have diameter going like this, 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 or this through your circle. But as long as it's from one point to the circle and it's split in two semicircles, you've got it. You don't want that many different triangles in it, but you want two semicircles, okay? So now we need to find radius. So, as many should know, radius is our center point of our circle. So our center point would be right here, right in between the two sides and right in between our diameter. So it would obviously have to be half of our diameter. So our radius would be out like that, and it's going to be radius. And this is going to be diameter. So now that we have radius and diameter down, we want to look at our formulas. So first, we have our area. So let's try doing that, okay? We're going to take it a little bit slow so you guys get it. But first, we need to plug in some numbers. I just decided to go with 12 because it's a super easy number to work with. And I'm just going to do 12 meters. You can do centimeters, kilometers, doesn't matter. As long as you have a unit, it's good. And obviously, as I said earlier, radius is our center point, which would be half of our diameter, which is going to be, half of 12 is going to be 6 meters. So let's try this. So our first formula right here is area, and it is pi r squared. So pi equals 3.14 times radius, which we said is 6 meters. Then we want to square it. Now, we need to follow BEDMAS. So, there are no brackets, but there is exponents, so we need to do exponents first. So we'll have 6 to the power of 2, which would be 6 times 6, would equal 36. Then we need to times that, which would be multiplication next, 3.14, and then that would give us our area. And then meters squared. Just as if you were doing a square, you'd always do meters or centimeters or kilometers squared. You always want to have that unit. Now, we figured that out. But now we need to find the circumference. So let's try that. Our circumference, we need pi times diameter, which is super easy because it's really easy. I don't know how else to explain it. So we have 3.14. Then we need to times it by our diameter. And we said our diameter was 12 meters. And obviously, that will right away give you your circumference. I'm just giving you a quick little short form of it, and then we're going to have it meters. Okay? So now let's try another number. Instead of maybe using 12 and 6, we can try, we'll just do small numbers like 2 and 4. So diameter is always bigger, so that'll be 4. And then obviously radius is half of diameter, which would be 2. So let's try this. So we have 4 meters as our diameter and radius 2 meters. So let's plug that into our formulas. So area, we have pi times our radius to the power of 2. So let's try that. Pi, which is equal to 3.14, times our radius, which is 2 meters, to the power of 2. Following our rules of bed mass once more, we have this side we have to do first. So that would be 2 times 2, which would be 4, times 3.14, would give us our area of a circle, meters squared. Okay? So there's our area. Now let's try circumference. So we have pi times diameter. So pi, 3.14, times our diameter, which is 4 meters, would right away give us our circumference, which would be meters. Okay? So now what if we did a different unit? Would it change anything? What if I change that to centimeters? Or even millimeters? Would it change anything? Not in the least. It only changed the unit. That could be, for all I know, like millions and millions, but it's just a representation. As long as you got the numbers down, everything after it doesn't matter. You can just swap it out. Like if I had my number like 4, if I was doing circumference, for example, and I was doing 3.14 times 4, obviously that will give me my number. It doesn't matter what that is. Because pretty much it'll give me my answer, which would be whatever. And then it could be meters, it could be centimeters, it could be kilometers. Doesn't matter. Okay? So as long as you have your numbers in and put that at the end, you're good. You can have it in your formula or whatever. I personally do so I don't forget it, but it doesn't matter however you want to do it. So usually what I like to do is I like to go over area a lot. Area, all you need to really know is the formulas. But I really like to get to know it because I don't want to have that test come down, sit right in front of me, and ask, how in the world do I find area? How in the world do I find circumference? Which is why I'm here today. So if I'm looking at area, I want to know pi. Pi would pretty much come anytime before you do an answer. Pi. But if you look at r, there's an r right after. So that's how I like to remember it. Is there's an r. We'll pretend that's our a, because usually like when you look at like car brands, they'll do that as their a, which almost looks like it if we put a hat or something like that over it. Almost looks like pi. Then we have r, and then we have 2 letters after it, area. So that's how I like to remember how to do area, is I need pi, then r comes after it, and so does 2 letters. So that's how I like to remember the formula of pi. Now, if you know the 2 formulas, then you obviously know that the next one would be pi times diameter, which would be circumference. So, thank you so much, Mr. Corbin's class, for watching. I hope you learned something off this, and I'm pretty sure our class won. Thank you so much. Bye now.